Hey everyone, and welcome back to my creative world. Today we are going to start the reconstruction of the ancient city's buildings. Now I just got done recording the interpretation of the ancient city. You can see it over my shoulder there behind us. And I'm just going to roll right on into the rebuilding because I'm kind of on a roll. So if you made any suggestions during any of the interpretation videos and you think that they're going to show up here, they're not, because I haven't seen it yet. Those videos have not gone out yet. So sorry, but that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to do this in two parts. First, we're going to take these buildings and trapdoor. We're going to take these buildings and we are going to restore the inorganic portions of it. And what I mean by that is the stone portions. Okay. And then once we're done with that, we are going to then restore the organic portions, the pieces that are missing, that are obviously, or were obviously some sort of organic material that went on here. Now, I mentioned in my interpretation that these folks traveled to the Nether. So if you see over here, I do have a set of nether wood, but I'm also going to try other woods as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all of these once I get them restored in their inorganic portions. And then just, or how do I want to put that? So what I'm going to do is after I get these restored, at least their inorganic portions, I'm going to copy them all the way back and assign different wood types to each row and rebuild all of them using just those wood types, and then go through and decide which one seems the best. All right. Now, that might seem weird, you know, and sort of arbitrary, but here's the thing. We know that they went to the Nether, so we're going to try the nether wood. And we know that the ancient city is under a mountain, which is right alongside a river. And on that river, you can float any wood you want. So wherever that water touches, whatever forests it goes alongside, anywhere that there is wood, anyone who lived in this ancient city or built this ancient city could have easily taken wood and floated it down that river to use in here. So that pretty much opens up all wood types for this ancient city. So we're going to try it. We're going to see what it looks like. A couple other things. There are some buildings we are not going to mess with, like probably not the towers, these guard towers or lookout towers, though I don't know. We might put walls on it to see what it looks like, but more than likely we probably won't. We'll probably just leave them. And then the lime buildings we probably won't do anything with either, because there's not much to do except maybe put some guardrails on here, but that's going to be more of a safety thing for visitors. And then finally, the purple building. All we're going to really do for the purple building is we'll add some stairs in the front here and stairs right here that lead up to the altar, and that's going to be about it for that. So I'm not going to put it in the row. Maybe I will put it in the row. We can just try different colors. Yeah, I'll copy this and put it in the row, and we can try different colors of wood on there. I just figured we could just do the one, but nah, we'll do it with every other row as well. So anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so the way that this is gonna go is, you know, you see a pattern like this, you just repeat it. The deep slate is not mined, which means that they probably built this on top of the deep slate. So I might just leave that there, but I don't know, because then you've got this, which is regular deep slate, and it's on top of tile. And here's the thing about deep slate is that, well, here's the thing about stuff being on top of other things. You have what's called the law of superposition, which means that you can't put something on top of something else unless that something else was there first. So this right here, this deep slate, yeah, it could have fallen from the roof of the cavern, which is a possibility. And I might just take it off and see what it looks like. But then you got stuff like this where it's oh, that's cobbled. Well, shit, never mind then. Yeah, so this might have fallen from the ceiling. So why don't we remove the deep slate off of this? I will go ahead and copy this just in case, and we will see what it looks like. Okay, let me show you what I did for the red building. So on the outside you have this pattern of polished deep slate that has these sort of little pieces that come down. And you have this opening for this main walkway up, but there is another walkway. Oh, I'll show you the backside too. Oops, I forgot that up there, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and just knock that out. So you've got this little walkway going up too to get you into the lower level, where there are these little slots here that does have a skull, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it in the interpretive portion. If not, I'll add it in the classroom section. So then you come around here, you got this, and then there was this big hole here that had what looked like stairs going up, but it didn't have stairs. It was just, jumps up, and it sort of fell apart. So I continued the pattern along, continued the tile, and then you come up this way and it brings you right to this altar here, which is actually kind of neat because it sort of frames that altar there, which is, I don't know, kind of neat. For up top here, I replaced the deep slate with the tile, and around the edges I did the brick, because most of these buildings have that. They usually have a ring of something and then something else in the middle, usually brick and then tile in the middle. So I just did that. Plus, if you come up here to the top, this is untouched. This is how it actually was. So it's got your brick here and then it's got your tile. So that's what I decided to do down here. And I think, honestly, it looks so much better. It looks like that's how I think it should look. I mean, it looks pretty good. So yeah, I think the red building is done. That one was easy. This one's going to be a little harder. So let's just go ahead and knock out the white building. Okay, this one kind of hurt my brain. So let's do a quick walk around, or fly around. So here is the front of the icebox. These pillars were both missing chunks here on either side. So I'm wondering if that wasn't some sort of organic material. Maybe brick goes there. I mean, brick doesn't look too bad, but it looks a little plain, So maybe something organic there. I'm not really sure, but this matches. This building, of course, is asymmetrical. You have a gap of 3 over here and a gap of 2 over here. Oda pointed that out while we were screwing around with this building. And so, yeah, and I think it's that way simply because you've got this on this side, right? So you got to go a little bit farther that way. Now the walls, I think, were brick. Now a lot of these had fallen apart, and I built them up with brick rather than organic material, which I was kind of hesitant to do. But I really do think that this is probably what it looked like. The brick probably deteriorated really far and fell, And then you got this random brick here. Not really sure what that's all about. That might have been a pattern that goes all the way around like this. You know, because you do have these sort of patterns that repeat themselves on all these buildings. You know, kind of like that, right? So you got here, 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 and here. Oh, and I guess there too. So yeah, that might be... Whoops. Excuse me. Thank you. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good. I like that. So we're going to keep that. So anyways, yeah, you've got this extra thick wall that runs around the bottom, which just so happens to be where the ice box has its ice. The roof is a little weird though. So there were some pieces of brick that were in here, inside, that were just sort of random pieces, which I think came from the higher walls here, which is why I built the walls up. But you got this weird pillar thing over here, right? With these on top. Now, if you'll notice, those on top are one brick higher than this level here, right? So that level ends at this brick. So I'm not really sure what this is. This might be sort of the, you know, Minecraft equivalent of when players put chimneys on all their stuff. You know, that might be decorative, it might be structural. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build the organic portions of this around the roof side and just sort of leave this here and see what it looks like when I'm done. But yeah, this is sort of stumping me. So I don't know, maybe I'll have some sort of epiphany when I come back to this later on. But there wasn't much that needed to be done to this building. Down here, you know, I'm gonna have to do some of the floor, probably some of this here. But overall, this isn't too bad either. It's just some structural stuff. But I'm not going to do it on camera because, well, it's hard to get, you know, replay mod in here. And I don't want to make everybody, you know, motion sick by doing a time lapse from my POV. So I'm just going to knock this out real quick and then we'll come back. Okay, so there you have it. Inside is pretty much done. Oh, of course, every time. Okay, so inside is now pretty much done. I left the walls cobble because they were all cobble anyways, and I see no reason to replace them with anything else, though I might copy one of these and try it with, I don't know, like brick or tile or something and see what it looks like. There is a tile wall here, though, which is interesting, and of course, tile roof, which is the floor, you know, in the building. But yeah, all in all, pretty easy. I built this wall rather than just a divider. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Wall rather than just a weird little sort of rung that hung down here of stone or whatever. So anyways, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I wonder what that would look like in tile. Well, let's find out, shall we? Oh, holy crap, look at that. That looks impressive. Wow. I like that. I like that a lot. How come you don't look that good? Wow, that is... yeah, that actually looks way better. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And I think down in here it would have done the same thing, right? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Yep. We're doing the deep slate tiles. Which, of course, then, ding, begs the question, how that would look with, like, brick. Maybe that lower... yeah, hold on. Let's try this. Let's go... wabam. Okay, that's looking pretty spiffy. Okay. You know... so the reason why I'm doing this is because everything seems to be deep slate tiles or deep slate bricks or chiseled deep slate, which I think chiseled on here would look absolutely garbage. So I said red was done, but it's, I mean, obviously that wasn't the truth. I didn't like the way it looks. So there we go. So we're getting rid of, you know, we're just going to get rid of all the deep slate cobbled. So, okay, there we are. So white building done, red building now officially done. Let's move on to, oh, the light blue building. I think right off the bat that this tile stuff right here is all fallen down from inside this frame. So I'm going to rebuild the frame, and so there's some brick there, which might be a patch. So I'm just going to do it all in tile. I think this brick here was probably a repair at some point. So let's jump into it. Okay, light blue building is done, and I've discovered a few things while working on this. So let's walk this way so you can get a good view of it. All right, here it is. It is also asymmetrical. 3 on this side, 2 gap on this side, just like the white building. Also, this pillar had the exact same construction as this pillar, whereas this pillar had the little gap at the bottom, was missing the chiseled, but went all the way up to the top here, which makes me think that these 2 pillars are the same, which makes me think that these pillars need to be that height as well. And to be honest, if I go one more above this chiseled, which is how tall those are, that puts it right at the level of this wall here for the white. So I'm discovering things about buildings while working on other buildings. So I think I'm going to adjust those pillars as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and walk up through the rib cage here. I think some stairs, some wooden stairs here would be good. So once you're in here, you've got some of these odd things like this going on here. Not really sure what that is all about. So yeah, but I've got these odd little columns that stick up here as well. Yeah, don't really know what that's all about. Maybe candles or lanterns can go there to sort of light up this area. I don't know. I left these little holes in here and a deep slate too, but I left these little holes in here to be well, one, areas where you put candles, and I might put a skull in there or something to indicate that there's a, you know, burial here. Maybe a flower pot in here to indicate some sort of urn. Same thing with this, you know, body. This maybe a armor stand or something. I don't know how I'm going to decorate it, but I left the holes in the walls as sort of offering nooks. It just seemed right. I mean, I could close it up, but if I close it up, then you've got this big empty area with nothing going on. So I think this is, I think that's supposed to be there. Anyways, that's the blue building, the light blue building. Oh yeah, check this out too. Random chiseled inside the rib cage. Kind of odd. But anyways, I did build it as though it was a rib cage. Now I know the warden has 4 ribs each side, so you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this, I'm leaning more towards this is a rib cage, or depiction of the warden's rib cage. So anyways, yep, there you go, light blue building. I'm gonna go fix the white building now. That's what I was gonna tell you. This wall I brought in by one because it had a weird sort of bunch of like random pieces of brick along here. So I figured that was wall fall. So I just built this wall up as a single layer, and I think it actually looks pretty good like that. There was also a patch in there on this wall with a single tile and a single chisel. So I think that might be sort of telling of patchwork. There was a couple other things that looked like repairs that were done in that building. So we're gonna have to keep our eyes out for things that look like repairs. So anyways, on to the blue. And here is the blue building. So you got some pillars coming up. You got really, really thick walls. The reason why I made these as thick as they are is because it was all just cobbled deep slate at the top of what was left of these walls, and we are assuming that cobbled deep slate is the degraded version or form of either brick or tile. And since everything is either brick or tile, I decided that I would just do it as tile, because there was already brick on like a lower level with cobble on top of it, so it couldn't be brick, or if it was, yeah, whatever. Oops, I accidentally did that. Okay. So anyways, yeah, so really, really thick walls, pillars. There's 4 pillars, actually, these 2 in here and these 2 outside. I think the way that you get up into this building is actually through this right here, this way. So like if you were to do this, this, and this, you would have a nice little, you know, put like a door right there and you walk right on in. The other option, of course, is to do this. And then you do something like that, and that, and then you have... Oh, I guess that doesn't work. Well, how would you make that work? Would you do this? Oh yeah, you would do this. So you could do this, and you could have a door here, and then you could have a door here, in which case then you would divide the whole thing right down the middle, and you'd have one living space here and one living space there, which is a possibility. We might screw around with that, but I'm thinking that because this chiseled is here, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is the actual doorway in. It's sort of off center. The only other way to do it would be to do something like this, where you come right in through the middle, but then what's the point of that to the side? Unless it fell. But anyways, I like the idea of an off-center door, so that's what we're going to do with this one. Anyways, so there you go. Blue is done. Let's move on to pink. And I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be a lot of the same thing. So with pink, you've got a lot of this cobble that's sort of right here, and I think this is just degraded tile and or brick. The only difference, of course, is that you've got the holes here, which are going to be for organics, and then this is going to be probably degraded brick or tile. Probably tile, because the rest of this is tile, so it's probably just going to be a wall of tile in the back, and then this is going to be organics, so I'm not going to even touch that, but I will touch the cobblestone or the cobble deep slate around it. Anyways, I'll just show you. I'll just do it real quick. Okay, yeah, there we go. Pink is done. Let me show you what I did. So just went in here and fixed the floor a little bit, fixed the walls here. It looked like it was all pretty much brick for the first 2 layers, and then tile above that. So you got tile here. It kind of comes out. Interestingly enough, it comes out to the post here, but not here, which makes me think that, I don't know, something's going on here. Maybe there's something filling that. I don't know. But it looks like there are definitely posts coming up, 3 on this side, 2 on that side. And I don't know, maybe they interlace going across, but then I don't know what's in between. Maybe more, I mean, obviously more organics, but maybe some other organics. Yeah, and anyways, yeah, so there we have it. This little pillar here doesn't go all the way up to the top, but it might. I might just push it all the way up to the top, depending on how I feel once we get down to the organics portion. I mean, it's kind of beefy when I do that. Check it out. Like, I mean, yeah, super beefy. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when I get to it. But yeah, so there was a lot of stuff along here, which I think was just fall. It was all on this side and that side, so I think it was all just wall fall here that sort of accumulated and became cobble. So I put it back up, and this chiseled block here kind of backs that up, because why would you put a chiseled block if you couldn't see it, right? Why would you put it there if you're just going to cover it up with walls? So yeah, I think that was a little bit of wall fall on the outside edge. So there we have it. There is pink, which makes me think, I mean, if you look at this, right, compared to this, like this is walled fully around, whereas this is very open, right? So this, yet another reason why I think this might be some sort of commerce. And you got all these shelves here, so you can put like item frames and stuff on it. I'm really leaning towards commerce on this, or at least some sort of bartering or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for that. Now, as for the purple building, like I said, the only thing I'm going to add to it is going to be stairs, kind of like that, but obviously organic. I might even do a slab instead, something like that, right? So it's a little, just real nice and easy walk up rather than stairs. But it's going to be organic. Both of those are going to be organic because nothing was left there. So I believe that is it for these, which means that is phase 1 done. Well, I did it. I copied and pasted. All right, so let's go over how this is gonna be done. Each row here has wood attached to it. Oh, by the way, I also added some walls to this because it had some cobble deep slate here, and the more I looked at some of the other buildings, the more I realized this probably had walls that went up a little bit. Anyways, doesn't matter. So here is the red nether wood. I don't remember what it's called. Crimson wood. Okay, that's going to be for that row. For the second row is going to be the warped wood. So for this whole row, we're going to use the warped wood. And here's the thing. We're going to use those for those 2 rows because we know that the inhabitants at the ancient city are getting either into the nether or nether stuff, unless we think that these people actually sort of gave the nether its soul sand, stuff like that. That's kind of an odd way of going about it. For this row, we've got spruce. Oh, sorry, dark oak, not spruce. We've got dark oak for this row here, and I picked a dark oak because, well, we had the dark oak tower, so it's possible that it was reused from somewhere, but there's also no dark oak villages, so that's why we're going to go with this. Here's the spruce. So we've got spruce for this row, everyone's favorite wood. For this row, we're going to try oak. So we're going from darker to lighter. Birch for this row. Now, birch, not a lot of people like to use birch, and I'm sort of in that camp as well, but you know, it worked really well for the trail ruins, so we'll try it out. So that's from darkest to lightest wood, but I do also want to have a couple others to try. So acacia. We're going to try acacia because we don't really have any orange. We got red, but we don't have orange. I'm not going to do mangrove because it's going to be very similar to the red nether wood. And finally, we've got cherry. And the only reason why cherry is here is because I know people would jump into the comments and say, well, what about the cherry grove at the top of the mountain or near the entrance or whatever? And yeah, there is a cherry grove. It's awfully small, which means it could have been deforested or cut back a long time ago to make, you know, the stuff in the ancient city. But yes, I will do cherry, and I don't think it's going to come out real nice because, I mean, that is ugly. So, you know what? Well, I mean, we'll do it just because I know there's going to be a ton of people in the comments who say, well, what about the cherry wood? So, no mangrove because it's going to be really close to the, to this one, this red netherwood, and no jungle because it's sort of orangish too. And so I figured I'll just go with acacia, and if acacia looks good, maybe we'll try jungle. And then I think that's about it for woods. No mushroom stems or anything like that because it doesn't come in stairs or slabs or trapdoors or doors. And, you know, we might even mix a couple too. If we really like the way something looks, we might throw in a couple new ones. So I'm gonna hold off on the red building for a little bit, and I'm just gonna start small and work my way up.